6 biggest criminal cases in American history. Whether because it involves a famous person or the details are particularly salacious, the American public is fascinated by crime. Thanks to the advent of 24-hour cable news and court TV, we can even watch trials live on television and get instant analysis of the testimony and evidence being presented. But fascination with crime and trials is nothing new. Here's a look at the 15 biggest criminal cases in American history. O.J. Simpson. In what's still probably considered the most watched criminal case ever, Pro Football Hall of Famer O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the brutal murder of his former wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend, Ronald Goldman, a waiter at a local restaurant. From the time Simpson was declared a suspect to the day the jury delivered its verdict, Americans from coast to coast watched every twist and turn in the case. Though he was acquitted in criminal court, Simpson was held responsible for the deaths in a civil proceeding and later served time in prison for unrelated crimes. Lindbergh baby kidnapping. Believed to have been taken from his nursery bed while he slept, the infant son of famed aviator Charles Lindbergh was found dead about 2 months after going missing from his family's New Jersey's home. An enormous investigation proceeded into the death, with public suspicion falling at various points on several different people connected to the family before a handyman, Bruno Richard Hauptmann, was tried, convicted, and executed for the crime. Beltway snipers. Over the course of about 3 weeks during the fall of 2002, more than a dozen people had been mysteriously shot by an unknown sniper in the Washington, D.C. suburbs. On one single day during the spree, October 3rd, 5 people were murdered by the sniper in Maryland and D.C. Eventually, the massive manhunt ballooned to include 400 FBI agents. Lee Boyd Malvo and John Muhammad were arrested and convicted. Muhammad was executed in 2009, and Malvo, only 17 years old at the time of the murders, was sentenced to life in prison. D.B. Cooper skyjacking. In a case that remains unsolved to this day, a man who said his name was Dan Cooper hijacked a flight bound for Seattle in November 1971, jumping out of the plane with a parachute on his back and the ransom money he'd demanded and gotten in his arms. While the case has captivated the public imagination, nobody has ever faced charges in the case, and Cooper's real identity, be it Dan Cooper or D.B. Cooper, is unknown. The Zodiac killings. We know Ted Cruz isn't the Zodiac killer, but to this day, authorities have yet to charge any individual with any of the murders attributed to the Zodiac. Operating in Northern California at various times in the 1960s and 1970s, between 7 and 30 murders are attributed to the Zodiac. The murders remain the source of public fascination, and authorities have said they would use DNA testing services to help solve the case. Watergate. When a 1972 break-in was reported at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C., few people could have predicted where the investigation would lead. When all was said and done, multiple individuals were in jail, and President Richard Nixon left office in disgrace. Hope you liked this video. If yes, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to press the button given below.